The storm hit Thalassa 7 without warning, turning the purple ocean into a monster of waves and wind. Dr. Rebecca Cole pressed her face against the reinforced window of her research station, watching nature's fury tear across the coastline. She had been alone on this water world for 6 months now, studying the strange fish that glowed in the dark depths. Most people would go crazy with such loneliness, but Rebecca preferred the company of her books and the endless mystery of alien seas. Lightning split the sky in colors she had never seen on Earth. Green, purple, and bright orange flashes revealed something impossible on the beach below. Rebecca grabbed her binoculars with shaking hands. There, trapped in the rocky tidal pools, was a creature that should not exist on a water planet. It was massive, perhaps 20 feet long, with scales that shimmered like oil on water. Wings torn and bleeding stretched across the rocks. The creature thrashed desperately, trying to reach the deeper water just 50 feet away. But the tide was going out and the pools were draining fast. Rebecca knew the protocol. Never approach unknown life forms. Call for backup. Wait for the military team. But backup was 3 days away, and this creature would be dead in hours, maybe minutes. She watched it struggle, watched the bioluminescent patterns on its scales pulse in what could only be distress. Her hands moved before her brain caught up. She pulled on her weathersuit, grabbed her equipment bag, and ran into the storm. The wind tried to knock her down with every step. Rain hit her face like tiny bullets. By the time Rebecca reached the tidal pools, she was soaked and gasping. Up close, the creature was even more incredible. Its scales reflected the lightning, creating patterns that seemed almost like language. One huge eye, golden and intelligent, locked onto her. The creature made a sound, deep and resonant, that cut through the storm. It was not aggressive. It was pleading. Rebecca assessed the situation quickly. The creature was stuck between 2 large rocks, its body wedged tight. The water level was dropping fast. She could see gills on its neck fluttering desperately, trying to pull oxygen from the thinning water. Okay, Rebecca muttered to herself. Think. She ran back to her station, her mind racing. In her equipment shed, she found what she needed. Portable pumps usually used to sample deep water. Flexible pipes. Her small hover cart to carry it all. 20 minutes later, Rebecca was back at the pools. The creature had stopped moving, conserving energy. Only its eye followed her, watching with an intelligence that made her shiver. She set up the pumps in the deeper water and ran the pipes to the creature's pool. When the water started flowing, the creature's scales flashed bright blue. Rebecca took that as a good sign, but it was not enough. The pool was shallow, and the water drained away almost as fast as the pumps could fill it. The creature needed to get to deep water, and there was only one way to do that. Rebecca waded into the pool, the water chest deep and freezing cold. She pressed her hands against the creature's side. Its scales were warm, almost hot to touch. The creature flinched but did not pull away. I need you to push when I push, Rebecca said, knowing it probably could not understand. Please. She braced her feet against the rocks and shoved with all her strength. The creature was incredibly heavy, like trying to move a car by hand. Her boots slipped on the algae-covered stones. She fell, swallowed water, got up, and tried again. Hours passed. Rebecca lost track of time. Her muscles screamed. Her hands bled from gripping the rocks. But slowly, inch by inch, the creature moved. She used her equipment as levers, positioned pipes to redirect water flow, even tied cables to her hover cart to pull. The creature helped when it could, using its powerful tail to push against the rocks. They worked together, human and alien, fighting against nature and time. Finally, with one last desperate effort, the creature slid free. It scrambled across the remaining rocks, clumsy on land, and splashed into the deeper water. For a moment, it disappeared beneath the surface. Rebecca collapsed on the beach, every part of her body shaking with exhaustion. She had done it. The creature was safe. Then the water erupted. The creature burst from the waves, water streaming from its scales. It hovered there impossibly, held aloft by wings that suddenly glowed with energy. Its scales flashed in rapid patterns, colors Rebecca had never seen before. It was beautiful. It was terrifying. It was looking right at her. Rebecca tried to stand, but her legs gave out. She saw the creature dive back into the water and felt a moment of sadness. Of course it would leave. She had expected nothing else, but the creature did not leave. It swam in circles just offshore, its glowing scales creating patterns in the dark water. Then it released a sound, long and haunting, that echoed across the ocean, and from the distance, other voices answered. Rebecca's last thought before darkness took her was that she might have made a terrible mistake, or perhaps the most important decision of her life. She passed out on the beach as dozens of glowing shapes emerged from the depths, circling closer, called by the song of the one she had saved. Consciousness returned slowly, bringing with it the worst headache Rebecca had ever experienced. Her entire body felt like one giant bruise. She opened her eyes and immediately closed them again. Too bright. Too much. She tried again, slower this time. She was in her own bed in her research station. Someone had carried her inside, stripped off her wetsuit and wrapped her in blankets. The medical scanner beside her bed blinked green. 3 days had passed since the storm. 3 days. Rebecca sat up too fast and regretted it immediately. Through her window, she could see the ocean, and covering every visible surface of water were the creatures, dozens of them. They floated peacefully, their scales creating a light show that turned the sea into a living rainbow. Her communication panel was flashing red. 47 missed calls from the supply ship. She pressed the callback button. Dr. Cole. Thank God. The pilot's face appeared on screen, looking exhausted. We have been trying to land for 2 days. Those things won't let us near the station. Rebecca looked out at the creatures again. They were not threatening. They were not doing anything aggressive. They were just there, covering the water in every direction. They are not attacking, Rebecca said, her voice rough from disuse. We know, but they are not moving either. Command wants to send a military ship, but I told them to wait. Dr. Cole, what are these things? Where did they come from? Rebecca explained what happened during the storm. The pilot listened, his expression changing from confusion to amazement to concern. You rescued one of them? Dr. Cole, first contact protocol states that... I know what protocol states, Rebecca interrupted. But it was dying. I could not just watch, the pilot sighed. Well, whatever you did, they seem to like you. One of them keeps swimming close to your station. Bigger than the others. We think it might be the one you saved. Rebecca felt her heart race. She moved to the window and looked down. Sure enough, one creature circled closer to the station than the rest. Its scales flashed in patterns that seemed almost purposeful. I need to go outside, Rebecca said. Are you insane? We don't know if they are dangerous. They have had 3 days to hurt me. They carried me inside and kept me alive. I don't think they want to hurt anyone. Before the pilot could argue more, Rebecca ended the call. She dressed slowly, her body protesting every movement. She grabbed her research tablet and her portable analyzer. If this was first contact, she was going to document everything. The beach was transformed. The creatures had arranged themselves in a pattern, creating lanes of clear water. Rebecca walked to the edge, and immediately the closest creature approached. It was the one she had saved. She was certain of it. The tears in its wings had healed, but the scars remained. Up close, Rebecca could see details she had missed during the storm. The scales were not just reflective. They were actually producing light, creating patterns that shifted and changed. The creature's eyes, golden and huge, watched her with unmistakable intelligence. Rebecca held up her tablet, activating the recording function. This is Dr. Rebecca Cole, first contact with unknown species on Thalassa 7. The date is, the creature's scales exploded with light, not random patterns, sequences, mathematical sequences. Rebecca's hands shook as she used her analyzer to record the patterns. Prime numbers, then Fibonacci sequence, then more complex mathematics that made her head spin. This was not random. This was language. You are trying to talk to me, Rebecca whispered. The creature's scales pulsed once, bright blue. Yes? Rebecca pulled up her basic communication program, designed for potential first contact. She input simple mathematical concepts and had the program translate them into light patterns on her tablet. The creature responded immediately, its whole body becoming a canvas of flowing colors. The communication was basic, frustrating like talking through a wall, but it was communication. Over the next hour, Rebecca learned that the creature's name translated roughly to something like skyfire. The species called themselves Drakai. They were not from this world. They came from the stars, traveling in ships. That information made Rebecca sit down hard in the sand. Spacefaring species. She had rescued a member of a spacefaring species. Skyfire continued the light show, and Rebecca's program struggled to keep up. The Druckeye were explorers. Their ship had broken. Skyfire had crashed into the ocean during an emergency landing. The pack had been searching for weeks. The pack. Rebecca looked out at the dozens of Druckeye floating in the water. They were all one family, one unit. And she had saved one of them. Skyfire moved closer, so close Rebecca could have touched those glowing scales. More patterns flashed, faster now that they were understanding each other better. Drowning. The word came through clearly. Druckeye feared water. Their species evolved on a dry world. They could swim, but being trapped underwater was their greatest nightmare. What Rebecca had done, pulling Skyfire from the pools, was something the Druckeye could barely comprehend. Another Druckeye approached, larger than Skyfire, with scales that held colors Rebecca had not seen before. Skyfire's patterns changed, becoming respectful. The leader. This was the pack leader. Rebecca stood, trying not to show fear. The leader's eyes studied her for a long moment. Then its scales began to glow, patterns more complex than anything Skyfire had shown. Rebecca's translator program worked frantically. Gratitude, honor, debt, life debt. The leader circled once, then released a sound that made every Druckeye respond. They rose from the water as one, wings spreading, creating a display that took Rebecca's breath away. Dozens of massive beings hovering above the ocean, scales blazing with light. They were saluting her. Rebecca felt tears on her cheeks. She had come to this world to study fish and catalog data. Instead, she had stumbled into first contact with a species that understood honor and gratitude in ways that transcended language. Skyfire approached again, and this time gently touched Rebecca's hand with one scaled claw. Warm, careful, deliberate. The pattern that flashed across Skyfire's body needed no translation. Pack, family, you. Rebecca sat cross-legged on the beach, her tablet running hot from processing the constant stream of information. It had been a week since the Druckeye arrived, and every day brought new revelations. The supply ship had finally landed after Skyfire personally escorted it down, much to the pilot's terror and amazement. Now Rebecca had food, clean clothes, and a direct communication line to Earth. What she did not have was any idea how to explain what was happening. Skyfire rested in the shallow water nearby, patient as always while Rebecca tried to understand their culture. The translator program had improved dramatically. Apparently the Druckeye were natural mathematicians, and once they understood how human computers worked, they had helped optimize the code. Now conversations were less like solving puzzles and more like actual talking. "Tell me again about the pack bond," Rebecca said, speaking into her translator. Her tablet converted the words to light patterns. Skyfire's scales rippled with what Rebecca had learned was their version of a smile. Pack is everything. Pack is family, crew, purpose. To save a pack member is great honor. To save from drowning is beyond measure. But I didn't know you were sentient when I started, Rebecca argued. I just saw a creature in trouble. This makes it more remarkable. You risked yourself for unknown being. Most species would not. That statement bothered Rebecca, though she could not explain why. She changed the subject. What did the pack leader mean by life debt? Skyfire's colors shifted to deeper hues. Serious. You gave life back to me. Pack owes you debt that cannot be repaid with things or time, only with equal life service. That seems extreme for just pulling you out of some water. Skyfire's whole body flashed red, which Rebecca had learned was emphatic disagreement. Not just water, was death. Slow, terrible death. You fought for hours. Injured yourself. For stranger. For alien. Pack leader Stormwing says this reveals truth of your species. What truth? That humans might be like us. Before Rebecca could ask what that meant, her communication panel beeped. Earth was calling, again. The face that appeared on screen was new. Not her usual supervisor, but someone from the diplomatic corps. The woman looked tired and excited at the same time. Dr. Cole, I am Ambassador Patricia Wong. I need you to ask the Druckeye a question. It is very important. Hello to you too, Rebecca muttered. Sorry. Hello. Please, Dr. Cole. We have been analyzing everything you sent us. The Druckeye are clearly an advanced species. We need to know their intentions toward humanity. Rebecca looked at Skyfire, who had been watching the exchange with interest. You want me to ask if they are going to invade us? Not invade, but we need to understand their power structure, their reach, their Ambassador Wong. They are not interested in conquering Earth. They are explorers, nomads. They don't even stay on planets very long. Still, we need to know. Please, Dr. Cole. Rebecca sighed and turned to Skyfire. She explained what the ambassador wanted to know. Skyfire's scales flickered through several colors before settling on an amused green. Humans worry about territory. We understand. Pac wants to offer something. Not invasion. Not conquest. Adoption. Adoption. Rebecca leaned forward. What does that mean? Pac bond with you. You become first human Drakai. Honored member of Stormwing's pack, protected, taught, welcome in all Drakai space. Rebecca felt her mouth go dry. That is a big offer. Very big. Never offered to other species before. But you showed Drakai heart. Pac wants to show gratitude and curiosity. Want to learn more about humans who save drowning strangers? Ambassador Wong had heard everything through the translator. Her expression was carefully neutral. Dr. Cole, I am being told to advise you to accept. This could establish formal relations between our species. So I should accept for political reasons? Rebecca felt suddenly angry. Not because I actually want to? I did not say that. Rebecca looked at Skyfire. The great creature watched her with those golden eyes, patient and somehow understanding. Over the past week, they had spent hours together. Skyfire had told her stories of other worlds, other species, the beauty and danger of deep space. Rebecca had shared stories of Earth, of oceans and mountains, of human history. It was not politics that made Rebecca care. It was friendship, strange as that seemed for beings from different worlds. If I accept, Rebecca said slowly. What happens? Ceremony. Old ritual. You receive Mark of Pack, temporary but lasts many months. Allows you to partially understand color speech without translator. Then you travel with us, see Drakai ways, meet other packs. When ready, return to your people as bridge between species. I would leave Earth for a time. Then return. Pack bond does not mean prisoner. Means family. Family allows freedom. Ambassador Wong spoke up quickly. Dr. Cole, think about what you could learn. What humanity could learn. The technology, the knowledge. Stop, Rebecca interrupted. I am not deciding this because of technology or politics or any of that. Then why would you decide it? The ambassador asked. Rebecca looked at Skyfire. Because a week ago a frightened creature was drowning and I helped. Now that creature wants to help me back. That is not politics. That is just being decent. She stood up, her mind made up. Skyfire, I accept the pack bond. Not for my government. Not for humanity, for you. Because you matter. Skyfire's scales erupted in brilliant light, patterns so fast and complex the translator could not keep up. But Rebecca did not need translation. Joy needed no words. From the ocean, dozens of Drakai rose into the air, their voices joining in a sound that was half song, half roar. Stormwing, the pack leader, approached the shore, his massive form casting shadows across the beach. Through the translator, his voice came deep and resonant. Rebecca Cole of Humans, Pack has debated many days. Your actions speak of courage, compassion, loyalty. These are Drakai values. You acted without thought of reward. This is rarest thing in galaxy. I just did what anyone would do, Rebecca said. No, what anyone should do. Few actually do. You pulled Skyfire from death with your small hands and large heart. For this, Stormwing's pack offers highest honor. Pack bond, family bond. You become one of us while remaining yourself. Stormwing extended one great claw, scales glowing with patterns Rebecca was beginning to understand. Honor, trust, welcome. Rebecca reached out and touched the scaled claw. It was warm, solid, real. I accept, she said simply. And the Drakai sang. The Drakai ship hung in orbit above Thalassa 7, like a massive sculpture made of light and metal. Rebecca floated in the transport pod, her stomach doing flips as they approached. Nothing in her training as a marine biologist had prepared her for this. Skyfire's colors flashed reassurance beside her. The ceremony had happened at dawn, with all 47 pack members present. Stormwing had touched her forehead with a claw dipped in bioluminescent fluid. The mark still glowed faintly on her skin, and already Rebecca was noticing changes. She could sense emotions in the Drakai color patterns now, understanding that went beyond words. The ship's entrance opened like a flower, and the pod glided inside. Rebecca's first thought was that human ship designers had no imagination. Where human vessels were all straight lines and efficiency, the Drakai ship flowed like it had grown instead of being built. Curved passages, soft lighting, and everywhere the subtle glow of color communication. Skyfire led her through corridors filled with other pack members. Each one paused to flash patterns at her. Welcome, curiosity, gratitude. One younger Drakai approached nervously, scales flickering questions. She wants to know if all humans are as brave as you. Skyfire translated, amused. Tell her I am not particularly brave, just stubborn. Skyfire's colors rippled with laughter. I will tell her you have proper Drakai spirit. They reached a large chamber where Stormwing waited with several senior pack members. The walls here were transparent, showing the curve of Thalassa 7 below and the stars beyond. Rebecca felt very small and very far from home. Comfortable? Stormwing asked, his colors gentle. Terrified, Rebecca admitted, but in a good way, I think. Good, fear with wonder is how we learn. Come sit, much to discuss. Rebecca settled onto a platform that adjusted to her size. The Drakai arranged themselves around her, creating a circle. It reminded her of tribal councils from Earth's history. You have questions, Stormwing stated. We see them in your body language. Humans are very expressive with movements. I have about 1,000 questions, Rebecca said, but I will start with an important one. Why have the Drakai never pack-bonded with another species before? You have explored for centuries. You must have met others. The colors around the circle dimmed, becoming somber. An older Drakai, who Skyfire had identified as Navigator, spoke up. We have met 43 sentient species, traded with many, fought with some, ignored by others, but never found species that acts like Drakai. I don't understand. Skyfire moved closer. Most species help only their own kind. They see others as threat, resource, or irrelevant. When we ask, would you risk death for stranger? Most say no. Or yes, but only if stranger is valuable, useful. You saved me expecting nothing, Navigator continued. Not alliance. Not trade. Not even thanks. You saw dying being enacted. This is Drakai way. This is rare in Galaxy. Rebecca thought about that. So humanity is unique? Perhaps. Or perhaps you are unique among humans. But from what you tell us of your history, humans often help strangers. Your legends are full of heroes who sacrifice for others. This suggests species-wide trait. Stormwing's colors shifted to concern. This is why we must warn you. Galaxy is not kind to species like ours. Those who help strangers are seen as weak, or dangerous, or both. Dangerous? How is helping people dangerous? Because it is unpredictable, another Drakai explained. Most species can be understood through self-interest. What they want, what they fear. But species that acts on compassion? That cannot be calculated. That terrifies the dominators. Rebecca felt a chill despite the warm chamber. Are you saying humanity is in danger? The silence that followed was answer enough. Finally, Stormwing spoke. Humanity is expanding, claiming planets, building colonies. Other species have noticed. Some are preparing to act. Act how? Contain, control, possibly eliminate. They see you as threat before you become strong. Rebecca's hands clenched. Then why didn't you warn us earlier? Drakai Collective maintains neutrality. We observe, we trade, but we do not interfere. It is our way. Was your way, Skyfire interjected. Pac-Bond changes things. Rebecca is Pac now. We protect Pac, Stormwing's colors flashed agreement. Yes, this is unprecedented situation. I have called for gathering of Pac leaders. They will want to meet human who earned Pac-Bond. And they will want to discuss humanity. What do they discuss? Rebecca asked. Whether Drakai Collective should offer humanity alliance. Real alliance, not just trade agreements, protection, technology, introduction to friendly species. Rebecca's mind raced. This is bigger than me. I am just one scientist. I should not be deciding humanity's future. You already did, Navigator said gently. When you pulled Skyfire from water, actions have consequences. Small kindness creates ripples across galaxy. The older Drakai moved closer. I have seen many species rise and fall. Humans remind me of ancient Drakai when we first reach stars. Curious, brave, sometimes foolish. We see ourselves in you. What happened to the ancient Drakai? Rebecca asked. We learned that strength is not enough. Intelligence is not enough. Must have heart. Must remember that all life has value. Some species forget this. They become strong but hollow. Drakai remember, and now we meet humans who also remember. Skyfire's scales pulsed with warmth. This is why Packbond is right. You are teacher and student both. You teach us about human way. We teach you about galaxy. Together we are stronger. Stormwing stood, his presence commanding. Rebecca Cole, in 3 days pack leaders arrive. They will test you, not with combat but with questions. They will want to understand human nature. Some will be skeptical. Some will be hostile. They will ask difficult things. What kind of things? They will ask what humans would do in impossible situations. They will ask about your wars, your failures, your darkness. They will want to know if humanity deserves Drakai friendship. Rebecca took a deep breath. And what if I fail these tests? Then we still honor pact bond with you, Skyfire said firmly. But collective might decide humanity is not ready for greater galaxy. Your species would be alone in dangerous space. The weight of responsibility settled on Rebecca's shoulders like a physical thing. She had come to Thalassa 7 to study fish. Now she was somehow responsible for representing her entire species to an alien civilization. But then she remembered struggling in the storm, pushing against Skyfire's weight, refusing to give up. She had not thought about consequences then. She had just done what needed doing. Okay, Rebecca said. I will do my best. That is all anyone can do. Stormwing's colors brightened with approval, spoken like true Drakai. Pack will help you prepare. We have faith in you, Rebecca Cole. After all, you already did impossible thing. What impossible thing? You made Drakai believe in humanity. Now you must make humanity believe in themselves. The gathering chamber made Stormwing's ship look small. 20 Drakai pack leaders had answered the call, each bringing their most trusted members. The space station that hosted them was neutral territory, ancient beyond Rebecca's understanding, built by species that no longer existed. Rebecca stood at the center of it all, feeling like a mouse surrounded by dragons, which, she supposed, was not far from the truth. Skyfire remained close, a reassuring presence. Over the past 3 days, they had prepared intensively. Rebecca had learned proper greeting protocols, the history of the Drakai Collective, and the complex politics of the galaxy. Now it was time to put that knowledge to use. The first pack leader to approach was called Ironwing, scarred and ancient. Her colors were muted with age, but her voice was strong. Human, we have heard much about you. Tell me, why did you save Skyfire? Rebecca had expected difficult questions, but this one seemed simple. Because Skyfire was dying and I could help. That is not sufficient answer. Many beings die every day. You do not save them all. Why Skyfire? Rebecca paused, thinking carefully. Because Skyfire was there in front of me, and I had the power to do something. I cannot save everyone, but I could save Skyfire. So I did. Ironwing's scales flickered thoughtfully. You act on immediate need rather than calculated benefit. This is either wisdom or foolishness. Maybe both, Rebecca admitted. I acted before I could overthink it. A younger pack leader, Brightscale, interjected. But this is exactly the problem with humans. You act on emotion rather than logic. This makes you unpredictable, dangerous. Dangerous to who? Rebecca asked. To everyone, including yourselves. We have studied your history. You war constantly. You destroy your own planet. You create weapons that could end your species. Why should we trust such a race? The chamber fell silent. This was the core question, Rebecca realized. Not whether humans were kind or brave, but whether they were safe. You are right, Rebecca said quietly. Humans have done terrible things. We have killed each other over skin color, religion, resources. We have been cruel and stupid and short-sighted. Then you agree you are dangerous? Yes, but not in the way you think. Rebecca stepped forward, her voice growing stronger. We are dangerous because we refuse to give up. We fail and we try again. We make mistakes and we learn. We are messy and emotional and sometimes irrational. But that same irrationality makes us do things like rescue drowning aliens in storms. Another pack leader, Streamrunner, spoke up. Pretty words. But words are easy. How do we know humans will not turn on us? Betray us when convenient. Skyfire's colors flashed defensive, but Rebecca held up a hand. You do not know. You have to trust. Just like I had to trust that Skyfire would not hurt me when I got close. Trust is a risk. But without risk, there is no reward. Ironwing moved closer, her great head tilting. You speak of trust, but trust must be earned. What has humanity done to earn Drakai trust besides one rescue? Rebecca felt frustration building. What do you want? A list of our achievements? We are young species. We only reached the stars recently. We have not had time to prove ourselves to the galaxy. Exactly our concern. You are young, reckless, unproven. So were the Drakai once, Rebecca shot back. Skyfire told me your history, how the older species looked down on you, called you barbarians, refused to trade with you. The Drakai had to prove yourselves over centuries. And now you want to judge humanity by the same old prejudices? The chamber erupted in colors. Shock, anger, amusement. Stormwing's voice cut through the chaos. Silence. Let the human speak. Rebecca took a shaky breath. I am not asking for charity. I am asking for a chance. The same chance someone gave the Drakai long ago. You say we are emotional and unpredictable, fine. But that emotion is what made me save Skyfire. That unpredictability might be exactly what the galaxy needs. Explain, Ironwing demanded. Skyfire told me the galaxy is full of species that only act in self-interest. That makes them predictable, easy to manipulate. But humans? We do things that make no sense from a survival standpoint. We create art that has no practical value. We explore places that offer no resources. We save strangers at risk to ourselves. Rebecca looked around at the assembled pack leaders. You call that dangerous? I call it hope. The galaxy you describe sounds cold and calculating, but life should be more than just survival and calculation. It should have compassion, joy, wonder, things that cannot be measured. Streamrunner's colors showed skepticism. Beautiful philosophy. But philosophy does not stop invasion fleets. Hierarchy is preparing to move against human colonies. How will compassion help against their weapons? I do not know, Rebecca admitted. But I know that strength alone is not enough. The hierarchy has strength. Many species have strength. But do they have loyalty? Do they have allies who fight beside them because they want to, not because they are forced? Are you suggesting humans could inspire such loyalty? Brightscale asked. I am suggesting we already did. Stormwing's pack is willing to risk neutrality for me. One human, because of one act of kindness. Imagine what an entire species of humans could do. Ironwing made a sound that was almost a laugh. You have courage, human. Foolish courage, perhaps, but courage nonetheless. Thank you, I think. The ancient pack leader's colors softened slightly. I opposed this gathering. I thought pack bonding with Alien was a mistake. But I see now why Stormwing did it. You remind us of what we once were, idealistic, brave, perhaps foolish. What changed? Rebecca asked. We became safe, comfortable. We kept neutrality to avoid conflict. But neutrality is also cowardice. We watched younger species struggle and did nothing because it was not our concern. Ironwing looked at the other pack leaders. Until Rebecca Cole made it our concern by earning pack bond. Stormwing stepped forward. I call for decision. Does Drakai Collective offer alliance to humanity? Wait, Rebecca said. Before you decide, you should know something. I am not a warrior or a diplomat or anyone important. I am just a scientist who got lucky and made a friend. I cannot promise that all humans will be like me. Some will be better. Some will be worse. We are complicated and contradictory and messy. Why tell us this? Brightscale asked. You sabotage your own argument because you deserve the truth. If you ally with humanity, you need to know what you are getting, not some idealized version. The real thing. Flaws and all, the chamber fell silent. Colors rippled and flashed as the pack leaders communicated in ways too fast for Rebecca to follow. Finally, Ironwing spoke. The human makes good point. We cannot judge entire species by one individual, but perhaps that is exactly what we should do. Judge by the individual who represents them best. Rebecca Cole saved life without thought of reward. She speaks truth even when lies would serve better. She shows courage in face of beings that could destroy her with a thought. The ancient Drakai turned to face Rebecca directly. If humanity produces more like you, even few more, then perhaps galaxy needs humans. I vote for alliance. One by one, the other pack leaders added their agreement. Not all of them. 3 abstained. But 17 voices voted yes, their colors blending into a symphony of light. Stormwing's entire body blazed. It is decided. Drakai Collective offers humanity alliance, protection, introduction to galaxy. In exchange, humans offer friendship and the promise to maintain their compassion as they grow strong. Rebecca felt tears on her face. I need to tell Earth, they will not believe this. They will believe, Skyfire said, moving to her side. Because you will show them. You will be bridge between our peoples. First human Drakai, first Drakai human. That is a lot of responsibility for one marine biologist. Yes, Skyfire agreed, colors warm with affection. But you lifted me from drowning. If you can do that, you can do anything. The human colony on Riverside was not supposed to be important. Just 3,000 settlers farming alien soil, trying to build a life far from Earth. Rebecca had never heard of it before the alert came through. Now it was about to become the most important place in the galaxy. She stood on the bridge of Stormwing's ship, watching the holographic display. 70 ships approached Riverside belonging to a species called the Hierarchy. They had sent one message: evacuate or be removed. How long until they arrive? Rebecca asked, her voice steady despite the fear churning in her stomach. 6 hours, Stormwing replied. We are 3 hours away at maximum speed. Other Drakai packs are coming, but they will be too late. What about the colonists? Ships are not enough to evacuate everyone. If Hierarchy attacks, thousands will die. Rebecca looked at the tactical display. Stormwing's pack had 47 members and one ship. The Hierarchy had 70 ships and unknown numbers of fighters. The mathematics were brutal. Why are they doing this? Rebecca asked. Riverside has no strategic value. No rare resources. It is just farmland. Skyfire approached, colors somber. It is not about Riverside. It is about message. Hierarchy wants to show Galaxy that humans are weak. That Drakai alliance means nothing. If they succeed, other species will feel emboldened to attack. So the colonists are just pawns in a larger game. Yes, this is how Galaxy works. Life is cheap. Only power matters. Rebecca felt anger rise in her chest. Then the Galaxy is broken and needs fixing. One ship cannot fix Galaxy, Navigator said quietly. No, but one ship can save 3,000 people. Stormwing's colors flickered with concern. Rebecca, you are pack bond, so I will speak plainly. We cannot win this fight. Best outcome is we delay Hierarchy long enough for colonists to escape. But even that is unlikely. Then we make it likely. Rebecca pulled up the communication system, linking directly to Riverside. A tired-looking man appeared on the screen, wearing a governor's insignia. Dr. Cole, we received your warning. Ships are being prepared, but there is not enough space. We are drawing lots to see who leaves and who stays. No one is staying, Rebecca said firmly. How many people understand basic ship operations? Maybe 500? Why? Because they are about to become pilots. Every Drakai pack member can carry 2 humans on their back in flight. That is 94 people. Every ship, no matter how small, takes as many as it can hold. Every piece of equipment that can float in space becomes a lifeboat. You have 6 hours. Use them. The governor's expression changed from despair to desperate hope. You think it will work? I think we will make it work. Start organizing. I will contact you with coordinates. Rebecca closed the communication and turned to find every Drakai on the bridge watching her. You plan to use pack as transport? Stormwing asked. If you will allow it. I know it is dangerous. I know Drakai fear water, and space is like an ocean that never ends. I am asking you to do something terrifying, but those people will die if we do not try. Skyfire's colors pulsed bright. You saved me from drowning. Now we save your people from drowning in space. This is balance. This is right. Stormwing considered for a long moment. Pack will do it. But Rebecca, carrying humans will slow us down. Make us vulnerable. We may not survive the battle. I know. I am sorry for asking. Do not apologize for caring about your people. That is exactly why Pack Bond exists. We help each other, even at cost. Stormwing's colors shifted to determination. Prepare the pack, we have work to do. The next 6 hours blurred together. Rebecca worked with the Riverside governor to organize the evacuation. The colonists moved with frantic efficiency, packing into ships designed for cargo, not passengers. Children were prioritized, then the elderly, then anyone else who could fit. But it was not enough. Even with every ship and every Drakai, they would be short by 300 people. Rebecca ran the numbers again and again, hoping for a miracle. It did not come. Then Skyfire approached with an idea. What if we delay hierarchy? Give more time for other Drakai packs to arrive. How? We are outgunned 70-1. Not in combat. In negotiation. Rebecca understood immediately. They came to deliver a message, so we deliver one back. When the hierarchy fleet arrived at Riverside, they found Stormwing's ship waiting. Alone. Rebecca stood in the communication chamber, her heart pounding, facing the hierarchy commander on the screen. He was a reptilian being, cold eyes regarding her with disdain. You are the human who earned Drakai Pack Bond. We expected you to run. I do not run from bullies, Rebecca said. Bullies? We are hierarchy. We maintain order in the chaos of the galaxy. By attacking farmers? Very orderly. The commander's expression did not change. We attack to prevent future conflict. Humans are dangerous, unpredictable. Better to contain now than fight later. So you judge us before we have done anything wrong? We judge by pattern. Young species grow aggressive, demand resources, start wars. We have seen it 40 times. Humanity will be no different. Rebecca took a deep breath. You are right. We might become aggressive. We might start wars. But we might also become something better. You will never know because you are not giving us the chance. Words are meaningless. Action is what matters. Your people will evacuate or be removed. Give us 1 hour, please. Why should I? Because I am asking. 1 hour will not change your military advantage, but it will save lives. If the hierarchy is truly about order, not cruelty, then give us time to leave peacefully. The commander studied her for a long moment. You are brave, human. Foolish, but brave. I will give you 30 minutes. Not because of your words, but because Drakai Pack Bond intrigues me. I want to see if they will truly die for you. The screen went dark. Skyfire's colors flashed urgent. 30 minutes is not enough. It is enough for what I need. Rebecca opened the communication to all channels, broadcasting to every ship in the system. This is Dr. Rebecca Cole. To anyone receiving this message, Human Colony Riverside needs help. We have 300 people with no way off planet. If you have any compassion, any decency, please help. Silence. Rebecca had not really expected anyone to answer. Space was full of species that did not care about strangers. Then a voice crackled through. This is Trader Ship Windchaser. We are not warriors, but we have cargo space. We can take 50. Another voice. Mining vessel Deep Dig here. We can squeeze in 30 if they do not mind being uncomfortable. Then more voices. A research ship. A passenger liner that was passing through. Even a few military vessels from species Rebecca had never heard of. Why are they helping? Navigator asked, colors showing confusion. Because someone asked, Rebecca said softly. Sometimes that is all it takes. In 28 minutes, every colonist was loaded. The refugee fleet prepared to jump to safety. Rebecca stood on the bridge watching the hierarchy ships holding position. They could still attack, Stormwing warned. They could, but they will not. How do you know? Because we changed the story. They came to show the galaxy that humans are weak and alone. Instead, they found humans with allies, found species willing to help strangers. The hierarchy commander might be cold, but he is not stupid. Attacking now makes him look like the villain. As if to confirm her words, the hierarchy fleet began to withdraw. The commander's face appeared one last time on the screen. You win this round, human. But understand, this changes nothing. Hierarchy will be watching humanity. One mistake and we will return. Then watch closely, Rebecca said. You might be surprised by what you see. The hierarchy fleet jumped away. The refugee ships followed, heading to safety. Only Stormwings. Pack remained, floating in space above the empty colony. Skyfire moved beside Rebecca, colors warm with pride. You did it. Saved everyone. We did it. The pack, the volunteers, everyone who chose to help. Is this what humans are like? Navigator asked. Always finding ways to win impossible battles? Rebecca laughed, exhausted and relieved. Honestly, sometimes. We are very good at being stubborn, and we are very good at making friends in strange places. Stormwing's entire body glowed with satisfaction. This is why Drakai chose alliance. You show Galaxy different path, not through conquest or domination, through compassion and courage. Rebecca looked out at the stars, thinking about the journey that brought her here. It started with one drowning alien and a simple choice to help. Now, somehow, that choice had rippled outward, creating alliances, changing minds, saving lives. Do you think it will last? Rebecca asked. The alliance, the hope? Skyfire's colors pulsed with certainty. Nothing lasts forever, but we will make it last as long as possible. Together. Pact bond is not just word. It is promise. You saved me. I save you. We save each other. And maybe slowly we save the galaxy too. Rebecca smiled, placing her hand on Skyfire's scaled side. One rescue at a time. One rescue at a time, Skyfire agreed. Below them, young Drakai played in the weightlessness of space, their colors bright with joy. Human children from the colony ships watched through viewports, laughing at their antics. Two species, different in every way, learning to understand each other. Rebecca thought about the future. There would be more challenges, more species that saw humans as threats, more battles to fight and diplomacy to navigate. But for now, in this moment, 3,000 people were alive because strangers chose to help strangers. That was worth any risk. That was worth everything. Stormwing approached, his ancient eyes kind. Ready to go home, Rebecca Cole? Which home? I seem to have two now. Then we visit both. Pack travels together. That is our way. As the ship jumped to faster-than-light speed, Rebecca looked at the Drakai around her. Her pack. Her family. She had come to Thalassa 7 to study alien fish and ended up becoming a bridge between worlds. Sometimes life surprises you. Sometimes one small act of kindness changes everything. Sometimes, when you save a drowning alien dragon, they save you right back in ways you never imagined. And sometimes that is exactly how it should be.